Hello everyone and welcome to Cinnamon. Today I am going to be telling you a little bit about how I made this Among Us character cake for my son's birthday. My beginning footage did not turn out, so forgive me. I'm going to have a couple of diagrams in a minute. You're going to need to make yourself 2 8x8 square cakes and 1 6-inch round circle. Now I just take the square ones and stack them together. You can see I've got parchment paper. This helps me to get the cake out of the cake pan a lot easier. I always like to level off my cakes. This one I actually needed to cut down even further. So the 6-inch, you just cut the one cake in half and you're going to use that for the head. That's why you only need one of them. If you want to make more cake, I mean, by all means, go ahead. But one is more than enough. I like to put icing where I'm going to be placing my cake on the tray so that it stays in place. Now I should have put some icing along the cake itself so that they would stick together better, but it held up really well. There was no difficulty with them falling apart. My son has to stick his fingers in. You want to make sure the round layer is as close to the front of the square layers as possible. And you want them to be the same height. My circles were not. The cake came out a lot thicker, so I had to chop off some extra and try again. Now what I'm doing here is I'm actually cutting off a little bit of the back of the head piece because the shape of the head isn't exactly circular. And I kind of round it off a little bit, cut a little bit extra off of that top so there's not such a sharp corner. I'll show you a diagram in a minute of where I made the cuts. So you can see where I cut the back of the head. I also made up a cut to make the pack about 1/3 up from the bottom, and about 1/4 of the way up I cut for the legs. You want to make sure that you line up your pack cut to be in line with the back of the head. I really wish I would have been able to have another camera to have a second camera angle, but my tripod broke. So I'm stuck using just my regular, I have a tripod I just got for my phone, so that's what I'm using. Now with that done, we get to dirty ice it. Crumb coat, however you want to name it. I hate this part. I am not very good at doing the crumb coat. I am not good at getting a smooth crumb coat. I am not good at getting a smooth any coat. I have no patience anymore for this kind of thing, and that is why this is a cake that is just done with the stars, because I don't have to get picky. Now I'm just kind of drawing in where I want to have my main lines for the black outline that I'm going to do. Now what I've been doing is I don't like to dye all my different colors. I start with white, and then I take all the white and I dye it light gray, and then I do that portion, and then I take what's left of that and I dye it a darker gray and do that portion, and then I'm dyeing it black because this is really just me adding more and more black dye. Get my outlines on there. I decided instead of using a star piping tip for the outlines, I wanted to have a round tip. And I also you can sort of see, I kind of drew in where I wanted the highlights to be for the cyan. That way you can get that lovely shading. And for the cyan, I actually tried adding more blue to it, and it did not work out as well. So adding more black works better. I included the leftover black icing from the outline and just kerplopped that into the cyan, as well as adding more black dye, but not too much because you don't want it to get too dark. But you want it to be dark enough that you can see a definite difference between the two colors. last but not least, we gotta do the entire outside. It's actually easier if you start at the bottom and then work your way up, but again, because of the weird shape of this and because I was trying to do this in front of the camera, I didn't do it that way in the very beginning. And that's it. My son is into this game. I liked playing it. I played it a little bit, but I didn't quite get into it the same way. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please click like. And thank you so much for watching. Happy birthday to you.
Let me make a wish.
Oh, wow.
Wow, good
You
job.
actually got it. One,